great Americans we've got up here. Look it up. A bunch of great guys, great gals doing some good things in the state. So keep them in mind. I'm going to bring up a guy who's taking some time out of his busy schedule today. Real stand-up guy.
Mike!
Can't think of a better guy right now to have up here. Mike Coffman.
I think they call this a grassroots movement.
That's right!
December 1773, Custodians held a tea party in Boston Harbor to protect excessive British taxes. Today, Americans in Colorado and all across our country are holding rallies to protest a budget plan that is passed by the Congress that taxes too much, spends too much, and borrows too much.
That's right!
We are here today because we know that you can't have individual freedom without economic freedom. And because we know that a government big enough to promise us everything is also big enough to take everything away.
That's right!
Your presence today will send a message to Washington politicians that reckless deficit spending is unacceptable and threatens the long-term financial health of our nation. Your presence today will send a message to Washington politicians that fiscal responsibility means demonstrating the courage to make the hard choices necessary to achieve a balanced budget. Your presence today will send a clear message to Washington politicians that it is wrong to bury this nation deeper and deeper into debt, placing an oppressive burden on the backs of your children and grandchildren. Thank you for coming today. Stay involved. God bless you. God bless Colorado. God bless the United States of America.
You guys want some more or you ready to go home now?
No!
Do you want more?
More!
Alright. Quite a few great speeches. We can go on all day.
Yeah!
I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine. Tom, are you up here somewhere, brother? You're a friend of mine here also, Tom Lucero. Give him a round of applause.
Ryan, thank you very much. A special thank you to the crowd that's out here today. I know looking down above, the Sons of Liberty are smiling. Smiling not only on Denver, Colorado, what's going on here, but what's going on all around the country. And unfortunately, we know they're not smiling on Washington, D.C. right now. And as I think about the Sons of Liberty in 1773, I think about that time in 1789 during the Constitutional Convention when Benjamin Franklin called Benjamin Rush and Thomas Jefferson over to his house. And they had negotiations going on, and the conversation ended up on what the oldest profession in the history of the world was. And Benjamin Rush, is the only doctor at the convention, said, well, it's medicine, of course. It was a medical procedure. God reached out to Adam, took the rib, created Eve. Jefferson said, no, Rush, you're wrong. It's architecture, it's the architect. Who else could have brought order out of the chaos? Franklin said, no, you're both wrong. It's politics, it's a politician. Who do you think creates the chaos? And that is what we have going on in our country right now. Chaos created by the politicians. I have spent the last 10 years fighting at the University of Colorado to reform education. And Mr. Caldera was right. This isn't Republican or Democrat. This is got the ideals that bring us here today, and the future of this country rests on the educational institution. That's why at the University of Colorado, I've been fighting against the indoctrination taking place in the classroom. Trying to bring about change and having our ideals taught of liberty, of freedom, and of market competition. One thing we know about elected officials, they were all educated in America's colleges and universities, and we shouldn't be surprised at the results we're seeing today. And the reason I know that is because my good friends at the Intercollegiate Studies Institute conducts a survey every year of college students. This year, for good measure, they threw in elected officials. And they asked them the question, who's responsible for creating wealth in this country? And not surprisingly, only 16% could answer correctly. Only 16% knew that the private sector creates wealth. The other 84% thought it was government centralized. And we wonder why we have the problems that we have. And make no mistake about it, my friends, because our rights and our freedoms are under assault right now. Isn't it time we stand up to the government and tell them to get out of the business of deciding who owns a home and what we do? We tell the government to get out of the auto industry and the higher Isn't it time we tell them to get out of the investment banking business? And we are under a recession, but we understand why we come out of recessions, because of American ingenuity, American self-reliance, and that indomitable spirit that's truly unique to us as Americans. We understand what makes America great. Ordinary individuals doing extraordinary things in their everyday lives, and not politicians in Washington, D.C. promising us hope and change. Now you all gathered today to make a difference. The one thing I would ask you to do is when you leave here today, you get involved in a campaign. I don't care whose campaign. You get involved with the elected officials here in the state of Colorado. You engage the elected leaders in Washington, D.C. and tell them you want your voice heard.